We're going to be comparing two players who are having breakout careers in the NHL and emerging as two of the league's brightest young talents. Jason Robertson of the Dallas Stars and Tage Thompson of the Buffalo Sabres. Both American forwards are making a name for themselves and proving to be valuable assets for their respective teams. But if you could only choose one, who would you have? Let's dive in. Both Thompson and Robertson have shown they can find the back of the net and are coming off career years while being on pace to have even better numbers this year. As of producing this video, both forwards are already above 30 goals and 30 assists this season, projecting to hit 50-plus goals and 100-plus points. Last season, Robertson was slightly more productive with 41 goals and 38 assists for 79 points in 74 games, whereas Thompson compiled 38 goals and 30 assists for 66 points in 78 games. Where the two players differ is in their development. From the start of his NHL career, Robertson showed promise, scoring and producing out of the gate. Through his first 54 NHL games, Robertson scored 17 goals and compiled 29 assists for a total of 46 points. Thompson, on the other hand, is a bit of a late bloomer. In Thompson's first 145 games, he only scored 18 goals and tallied 17 assists for a total of 35 points. Then, last season, everything came together. He quickly quelled any talk of being a one-hit wonder by putting up even more impressive numbers and highlight reel goals this season. Which leads us to our next point, examining playing style. One of the reasons why it's taken Thompson longer to mature into an impact player is because of his size. At 6'7" and 220 pounds, he's a monster of a centerman, and it took some time for him to grow into his massive frame and learn how to use it to his advantage. He's proven he can use his reach to dangle around defenders and goaltenders to score jaw-dropping goals and set up his line mates. A lot of credit is due to Sabres head coach Don Granato for moving Thompson from the wing to center, which was the catalyst to his astronomical rise. With more time, Thompson should develop into an even better two-way player and add more physicality to his game. As for Robertson, although he's not Thompson's size, he's no midget. Standing at 6'3" and weighing in around 200 pounds, Robertson is a pure goal-scoring winger who's always had a nose for the net. He finds soft spots on the ice and then uses his strong and accurate shot to beat the opposition's goaltender. He can read the game well and adapt to what's going on around him. Both Robertson and Thompson have improved their skating ability and play away from the puck since getting to the NHL, and should further develop these attributes over time. In today's salary cap era, it's impossible to evaluate a player's value without looking at how much he costs. Both Thompson and Robertson have recently signed contract extensions with their respective teams. As a restricted free agent, Robertson and the Stars got a deal in place just in time for the start of the season, with a 23-year-old forward agreeing to a 4-year contract, which will run through the 2025-26 season. The 4-year contract is worth $31 million and has an average annual cap hit of $7.75 million. Whereas Robertson took the bridge deal, Thompson and the Sabres agreed to a long-term deal worth $50 million over 7 years, carrying an average annual cap of $7.14 million. The 25-year-old forward is playing out of the final year of his previous contract at an annual cap hit of $1.4 million, meaning the Sabres have him locked up through the 2029-30 season. So which contract's better? Of course, only time will tell, but we can look at future projections to get an idea. Both Thompson and Robertson will continue to get better, but it seems as though Thompson and his meteoric rise has a higher ceiling. As it stands, the Buffalo Sabres were wise to already lock up Thompson long-term, even though some analysts question giving out so much money for so long after only one good season. If the Sabres would have waited, they'd be paying $3 to $4 million more per year in a long-term deal. Term also makes the Thompson deal a huge win, as he's locked in for 4 more years than Robertson. The salary cap expected to rise significantly over the next few years. So will contracts, so expect Robertson's next deal in 2026 to be substantially higher. Also worth analyzing are the type of players Robertson and Thompson are, respectively. Robertson has blossomed into one of the NHL's premier goal-scoring wingers and has benefited from playing with the likes of Tyler Seguin and Jamie Benn. However, Thompson has turned into one of the game's most captivating players and has been the catalyst to a rapidly developing Sabres team. Combination of his size, playing style, and rise out of seemingly nowhere have him on the cusp of superstardom. He also adds additional value as a power forward and center. What GM wouldn't want to build around a player like Thompson? Well, both are exceptional forwards. Simply put, there are fewer Thompson-like players out there than there are Robertson-like players. Factoring in his position, size, playmaking ability, contract value, and contract length, we're choosing Thompson over Robertson. However, Robertson is a fantastic player in his own right. If you were building an NHL franchise, who would you choose?